Get ready, America. We're live with Jacobby and Nicole, starring Jacobby
Hey,
the Bouvier
hey, 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 hey,
and co-host Nicole
hey,
Slade
hey,
and special
Every
guest
time I
Dana
walk through the
S. Hubbard
door, I always say hello.
and veteran actor
Every time I walk through
Rodney
the
Suter
door, I always say
and
hello.
the comedy spot with Howard
When I
Ed.
walk in the room, all eyes on me. People think they know me cause they saw me on TV.
Now here's your host, Jacobby and Nicole.
Welcome to Live with Jacobby and Nicole.
Today, live with Jacobby and Nicole, we're interviewing three contemporary Renaissance men. Dana Hubbard, Rodney Suter, and of course our fabulous Jacobby de Bouvier.
Today I'm interviewing a fantastic entertainment industry veteran. He has worked with the likes of Spike Lee, Denzel Washington, Tyler Perry, and Tyra Banks. Put your hands together for the incomparable Dana Hubbard. So Dana, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Dana S. Hubbard.
Oh, okay.
I'm joking.
So when I first met you in 2000, as a matter of fact, you had a nonprofit organization. Do you still have that?
I don't have that organization anymore, but I'm creating a new one, which I'll be launching probably within the next 2 months.
Okay. So you brought to Hampton Roads some mega talent to that event. It was called Hampton Roads, what is it? Hollywood Comes to Hampton Roads.
Hollywood Comes to Hampton Roads.
And I met through that event Mel Jackson from the movie Soul Food and Living Single and The Temptation movie. Roger, who's Ernest Thomas from What's Happening, came. Michael Raff from the TV show Bernie Mac, he was here, and Alexis Fields, who everyone knows is Chip Fields' daughter, and Kim Fields' sister from The Facts of Life. She was here. She was also the co-star of Moesha. So you've met a lot of moguls and famous people. So how did all of this start?
Well, it's just like pretty much I got involved with the entertainment industry professionally in 1988. I started working with Spike Lee. My first project with him was Do the Right Thing. And from Do the Right Thing, I just grew in the business, so to speak, and parlayed a lot of my relationships and just built on them.
Okay, so listen, Spike Lee, number one. But Tyra Banks, did you write that movie for her, or you directed it?
I produced it.
Oh, okay.
I produced it. My partner at the time was David E. Talbot. Never forget, I was an actor at the time, and David and I were roommates at the time. And came home from an audition, and this is when David had already been doing all those national stage tours,
right.
And he was already big in his own right. And I just came home from an audition, and I was like, man, I'm tired of auditioning, and not getting these parts or whatever. When I know I'm killing the audition, he was like, man, we ought to do our own film. And from doing our own film, he wrote the script, and I had the relationships in the industry. So once he wrote the script, I went out and shopped it to a few people. It was very, very hard to get to Tyra Banks at the time because that's when she was at her peak, and she still is.
Right.
Malik Yoba, who was doing New York Undercover at the time, we approached him. And when you have a good script and you can get it to the actual person that you really want to do it, the script is good, they'll tell their agent, look, regardless of what you say, what you may think, I want to do the script. And that's what we were fortunate with Tyra and Malik, where they wanted to do the project, even though we didn't have the multi-million-dollar budget. We had a $1.5 million budget at the time, which was very, very, very low budget in the 90s.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey. Have you heard about Renee's Celebration Center located in the heart of Suffolk, Virginia? Well, if you have not, go to their website at reneescelebrationcenter.com. They have an eloquent, facility that can host all of your entertainment needs at a very affordable cost. They do business meetings, weddings, engagement parties, bridal shows, baby showers. There's no event too big or too small. Contact Renee Celebration Center, located in Suffolk, Virginia. It's area code 757-655-7880. Renee Celebration Center.
Hey, 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 hey. Every time I walk through the door, I always say hello. Every time I walk through the door, I always say hello.
What's going on, funny bone? How y'all doing? Let's hear for all the comics that hit this stage tonight. Yeah, it was great. For me, this is a dream. Doing stand-up comedy. My day job is boring. You know, I clean carpet for a living. See? Y'all heard of Larry the Cable Guy? I'm Howard the Carpet Guy. I had to bring a little excitement to it. That's why I call myself that, you know? Makes me feel like a superhero, you know? Howard the Carpet Guy. Is he faster than a speeding bullet? Nah, man, I ain't doing all that running. I'm over 50, man. Will he leap a tall building in a single bound? Nah, but I clean the hell out of that bad boy, man. Up to 14 floors. Like, you did. You did. Will he save a damsel in distress? If her carpet dirty, I got that. I got that. Coffee stains, wine, all that, you know. But I gotta do that, man, because my job also is scary sometimes. I gotta deal with terrorists. You all know terrorists. Some of you call them your kids. You know, these bad bad children.
Hey, 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 hey. Every time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back talking with the legendary actor of Hampton Roads, Mr. Rodney Suter, and he's going to tell you about some of his accomplishments and roles that he's played.
All right, among my film roles, you can see a film called Tracks, and there's a 2014 edit, smaller, faster, and funnier. Also, Psycho Kickboxer with the great Curtis Brooks, 6-time world champion. I did that movie simply because, well, he needed somebody to help him. And also,
Stage.
on stage, of course, I did Fences at Virginia Stage Company. I did The Odd Couple, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, the world premiere of A Line in the Sand about the desegregation of schools here in Norfolk.
So what role did you play in Fences? Were you the dad?
I was Bono in Fences.
Who was that?
That's the best friend.
That was the best friend.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing it with Denzel, like the garbage man. That wasn't
Right.
the role you played.
No.
No, I played his buddy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The one that tried to keep him out of trouble.
The one that tells him,
I was
Troy.
just testing to see if you saw the movie or the play.
Oh, yeah.
No, I won't. I didn't know.
Bono had to keep him out of trouble.
He told him,
tried
Troy,
to.
I've known you and Rose a long, long time. I've known both of you a long time. Knowed you when you was hitting them baseballs out the park. You had all them girls back there. But when you met Rose, I said, hey, my man Troy done caught on to something. Well, follow me. And I've been following you too.
Hey, 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 hey.
Live with Jacobby and Nicole is brought to you by
Every time I walk through the door, I always say hello.
Jacobby International Magazine is a proud sponsor of Live with Jacobby and Nicole. Have you always wanted to rip the runway and get paid for your photos during the magazines like Vogue, Glamour, XXL, and Vibe magazines? Listen, Jacobby the Bouvier is an experienced model, coordinator, fashion show producer, and agent with years of experience in the industry. He is designing this workshop especially for you. Call 757-618-8437 to sign up for this workshop. Space is limited, so call soon. 757-618-8437. That's 757-618-8437.
Hey, hey, hey. I
I got this money and all this fame. I got this Mercedes in my name.
Now, with all these different talents as far as acting, where did you get your education?
My education, basically, I was in the Grammy Players, and then I never did major in theater. People always think I was a mass communications major at Norfolk State University because I wanted to be a reporter. But I wound up hanging out and being discovered by some of Norfolk's theater royalty. So I wound up under the tutelage of like Stan Feddison, Jerry Marty Rowe, the great Marcella Mitchell, and
What about Robert Wynne Jackson?
I had known Robert, but I never worked with Robert.
Oh, okay. Listen, so you have experience working in film, theater, radio. So which area is the most lucrative?
Most lucrative is the film work. It's a hurry up and wait job. Like you might do 16-hour days and you maybe work 6 of those 16 hours while they're setting up the new shots or what have you. But the union money is really good with that. Of course, the theatrical money is also good if you're in the union, you're on Broadway, somewhere like that. But locally, I've always started theater companies and really struggled, but it was all about cultivating talent and about cultivating our audience locally so that black people are exposed to theater, you know, as opposed to going to the movies all the time.
So which area of acting do you enjoy being in more? On the stage and theater, on film, or on television? Or on the radio?
I enjoy the stage more because you're live, you're in the moment, and it changes and it morphs with every performance. It just grows and grows and grows while you're going. And by the time the end of the show happens, it is usually at its peak.
So you direct as well?
Yes.
And you write?
Yes.
So out of all of the entities, writing, directing, producing, songwriting, and acting, which one do you love more? Which one is your passion? Like, I'm a singer, songwriter, do all those things. I think playing the piano and singing is my passion. But I do all the other things. I love all of the other things. But my passion is singing and writing music.
My passion is the acting.
I can tell from your reels too.
I write music and write songs and what have you, but I have always been a bit dramatic, and the songwriting is more personal for me.
We're gonna just take a little curve. Rodney and I had lunch together one morning, preparing for the 7th annual Black Man Rock Image Awards, and I discovered that he is hilarious. He has a sense of humor that's just natural. But all of his productions I've seen are all dramatic. So, have you done a comedy, or do you enjoy the serious stuff more?
I actually started off in musicals. I played Snoopy in A Good Man, Charlie Brown. I played El Gallo in The Fantastics. And I actually did a lot of comedy.
You're watching Live with Jacobby and Nicole, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
God has something
Jacobby Publishing. We take your ideas from the page to the stage. We publish books, CDs, music, and anything in print, or in music, or in film. Call Jacobby Publishing today. 757-618-8437.
God has something for me that He wants me to see.
Rob and Marshallese Lewis, 2 local playwrights. They're here today, gone tomorrow. I directed, and I was in that with the great Pedro Band, who's since passed along, about 2 brothers who kidnap a person who is the wrong person. They go to kidnap the person and they wind up mixing up the addresses. So they kidnap the nephew of the mob boss instead of the guy that they wanted to kidnap. And one brother's passion is to have a hair salon. That's all he wants is a hair salon. And he talks to his wig bust, the wig goddesses, And of course, the other brother that I played was more straightforward. He's about making that money and making that dollar. But it was just a hilarious show. It was a lot of fun to do.
So we got 2 more questions for you. All right, so you just won the 7th annual Black Man Rock Image Award for Best Actor, and you gave a very, very emotional acceptance speech. What did that award mean to you?
It really meant a lot to me to be recognized after a long career. I've often been nominated for awards, sometimes 2 or 3 categories, but I never won.
Really?
And I would always say, why don't I win an award? And people go, oh, well, you're so good. We didn't think that you needed that. But you really do need it. It means a lot that you're recognized for what you do, and especially by your own people. That was just, I was so overwhelmed. I mean,
and your pictures on the red carpet just got so
Yes, I
many
was
likes.
gonna say,
Everybody
you
was
slayed
like,
it.
everybody was like. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, live with Jacobby and Nicole, we have a special treat. Our executive producer, Mr. Jacobby DeBouvier.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, it is a treat, sir.
Good to see you
Good
again.
to see you.
Can I have a seat?
Please have a seat. This is your bitch.
This is your bitch too.
That's right. That's right. And we are so excited to have you, not only as the executive producer of this show, making great waves for people here in the 757, and of course having a place to place them on the platform, but you've done a lot yourself within the community and within your lifespan. So can you tell our audience some of the amazing things that you've already done, accomplished, and continue to persevere for?
Amazing, I would say my most amazing thing that I've done as I actually was a guest on NBC, The Real Network. And I tell you, you really feel like a star when you're on a major network, because they picked me up at the airport with the limousine driver holding the sign with my name on it. When I got to the hotel, they did not let me touch the door. They had a doorman for everything. They got my bags. They brought me my toothbrush with one call. Anything I asked for, I just wish that could have continued. And that's why I'm here today, because once you get that success on that level, or that kind of star treatment with the limousines rolling and the doormen and the servants and the concierge, you want to duplicate that, and that is the premise of this show.
That's right, and duplicate it not only for yourself or continuously in your life, but for others too as well.
Especially you. I wanted to see you have a doorman taking your little telling where to get you around.
That's right, that's right. And I think that you're establishing that for the people in the Hampton Roads area. They are feeling very honored and very moved by the things you're doing, like the Black Man Rock 7th Annual Awards that you're doing. You're having all these different gentlemen coming up here, and you're honoring them for things that they have probably never even been honored for, but they're doing greatness in the community and making strides in history. So I know that you have done fashion shows and that you have done all kinds of different things in the community. You have your own clothing line. You've trained models. You've done so much. What was your favorite thing that you've done?
My favorite thing is hearing my original songs on the radio, because that's the one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to be a singer and a songwriter ever since Michael Jackson came out with Jackson 5.
Now, you are also an artist in film. Not only did you act, you produced as well.
I've never produced a real film, but I've been in 3 films. My first entry into the film industry was due to the fact that I met a gentleman by the name of Tim Reed when I had a prior TV show called ep2. I interviewed all the stars that came to Hampton Roads for his Celebrity Weekend. So I interviewed Jacobby from 227, Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, his wife that was on that show, Tim Reed, so many celebrities that came. But I took that idea of having a talk show locally, so when I started my clothing line, I had to go to Las Vegas 3 times a year. So man, I didn't realize that so many celebrities were there endorsing their products as well. So everybody's a celebrity. Somebody comes along and try to put their name attached to their brand. So there I met Magic Johnson. That was one of the most memorable people that I've ever met. And I met Ice-T, the rapper, actor. I mean, the list goes on and on. But I had acted with Tim in 2 Tim Reed films. The first one is called Nothing to Lose. It's still available on Amazon and all the distribution companies online. The second one was a film that Tim saw me
reading for a part at the table because I had brought all of my models down as extras for the film. So they didn't have a casting director there. He was late coming from LA. So I just told him, well, I'll read the parts that are, not filled at the table. And so when he started to hear me read all the parts, the men parts, the women parts, the comedic parts, the straight parts, he was like, okay, well, you're the casting director. So that led me to be the casting director and the co-star in the film that he produced right after that. So once people hear you, they got to see you. You got to show up, first of all, on time, prepared. That's how you get the parts, because they're breaks.
That's right.
And once he did that, that gave me the credit as a casting director in a film and a co-star with Tim Reed.
That's right. Now, your Facebook portfolio page, just your portfolio in general, of all the work that you've done, is absolutely stunning. I mean, all the way down, like you said, all of the different names with Jackie Alpha 227, all the way down to kissing Missy Elliott on the cheek is absolutely amazing, and some of the people that you have came in contact with. So I'm wondering, you've done a lot of things within the community too for you young up-and-coming models, and now you've done not just fashion shows, but you've also done makeup artistry?
Well, I got my training as a makeup artist at Glamour Shots. I was an assistant manager there. I started as a photographer. And so I was like, man, I could do this too, because I used to do that part-time at home, but I never really did it as a profession. So once I learned all the techniques at Glamour Shots of making people over with the foundation and the highlighting and contouring, I started studying with makeup books and tutorials, and I found out that I could work on celebrities, so I started doing it for celebrities as well, like the R&B star Nicole. So I met her. I had her on my TV show, BPTV, and then I met her mom, who saw my show at the post office, and she was like, aren't you the guy that was interviewing my daughter? I was like, who's your daughter? I didn't even know who she was. She said, Nicole Ray. She said, you just had on your show last night. She said, do you have anything else for her? I said, well, I have a clothing line she can rep. So she was my celebrity endorsement for my clothing line. And then my godbrother-in-law, he was an NBA player for the Denver Nuggets named Corey Alexander. So I called him. I said, Corey, I need another celebrity to wear the men clothing. He was like, when you need me to come in? I ain't no model, but he is very much model-like. He has the looks. He's tall, and I did a photo shoot with him. But listen, he was on crutches when I did the show.
Oh, wow.
Shoot. So I just took the crutches away, propped them up against a couple of things, and you could never tell. Because, football players, they always have injuries. He had stopped playing for the Denver Nuggets, and he was playing overseas. But I didn't have to pay either one of those celebrities for those photo shoots. That's what my photography and makeup skills come in and style.
Awesome. And that just continues to make you super talented. And you touched really briefly on your television show. But you've also had plenty of radio shows and radio interviews. Everybody wants the presence of this man here, I'm telling you. So, which one did you like most? Do you like doing TV more, or did you like talking on the radio more? Because your radio show was broadcast on 5 different stations at one time. So, what did you like the most?
I love TV. So, my former play, prior to the new play that I'm about to produce, is called Horses from the South, is the one that's in production now. But the play that was a hit 3 days in a row, a sellout, we took it on a mini tour of Hampton Roads, was called She Ain't Right. It was about a mother who was schizophrenic, bipolar, but she would take a medication, but she used it as a pass to say anything about her son's girlfriend and anybody that came to the house. She disrespected them. She talked about their breath, their clothes, their body odor. She beat her son with the phone because she thought that him having phone sex was going to run up her Verizon bill. So she took the phone and she wears him out and smacks him to another family. And so Howard, who's our comic relief on the show, he played my son. But he feels like my real son today because we connected so much that I took him to Texas Roadhouse for lunch for his birthday. And he did not want to get on the mechanical bull. And I kept on saying, Howard, you need to get, at least just take a picture with it. He wouldn't even take a picture with it. So it's like being his real mom, because he's very hard-headed, but he's lovable at the same time. So I know you have children.
Oh, yeah.
And they have those type of moments, right?
They do. And again, you're just an all-around fantastic person. Again, I love the fact that you're pulling people in the community who's never done it before, people that has done it before, and you're making it into great, great things. Now, last but not least, you're also an author. Can you tell us a little about your book?
Well, this is my second book. I have a book that I published in 2004. And that was about my growing up, how I always aspired to be an entertainer, and the highs and lows of that. Opening my own theater after being kicked out from being a partner in a smaller version of that, and how the Lord used my divine intervention to just say, listen, he gave me little sayings like, you take one step, I'll take two. You got to just step out on faith. And my current pastor, who is Bishop Russell, he tells me all the time, he said, Jacobby, just start a radio show, the Lord will throw you the money. Start the TV show, the Lord will throw you the money. Sometimes I didn't even have enough money to do this show, but at the last minute, somebody will buy a commercial, and then it just happened. And I interviewed people like the likes of Dr. Richard Smallwood, and that was my first guest. And then Bill Nelson and Mr. The guy who wrote the theme song to the Cosby Show and the Living Single Different World. Those Stu Gardner is his name. So, I mean, the Lord just connects me with great people like you. And I'm waiting to cast you on my plate, as I've already cast you as my co-host on the TV network.
That's right. Really taking people out of their comfort box here, Jacobby.
And then the movie is next.
Movie's next.
Doesn't she have movie star looks, ladies and gentlemen?
Of course.
So we might be the next.
So
you're watching Live with Jacobby and Nicole, and we will be right back after these messages.
Hey, 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 hey.
Got carpet? Got stains? Well, call the carpet guy for heavy stain removal, carpet repairs, or a good old freshen up. The carpet guy specializes in disaster remediation. Call the carpet guy for affordable carpet care at 757-404-3184. That's 757-404-3184. Serving all of Tidewater. Licensed, bonded, insured.
Live with Jacobby and Nicole is brought to you by ep2 Men's Fragrance by Jacobby. Mr. Jacobby International Magazine is a proud sponsor of Live with Jacobby and Nicole. Jacobby Publishing. We take your ideas from the page to the stage. We publish books, CDs, music, and anything in print, or in music, or in film. Call Jacobby Publishing today, 757-618-8437.
So not only do you enjoy doing the radio, and of course we had a fantastic radio interview, you are also a playwright.
Correct.
So tell me something about these plays.
Well, I started writing plays. I directed a play first called A Lesson Before Dying, as I did have my own theater for 7 years. It was called the Beautiful People Theater. And I wanted to direct, so actually I directed my play. It was called, I played a little kids play because I had a children's theater and an adults theater. So I had a little like murder mystery show that I created called Death by Disco Fever, where the guy danced himself to death, but he had so many enemies, people just thought that somebody had killed him, so it was like dancing on, well, Billy, did you kill Johnny? Do this? So I just took a stab at writing my first stage play. And as a matter of fact, my last week's guest, Herman Hurston, I had heard him on the radio, and I called him and I said, listen, I want you to play.
Always say hello. Every time I walk through the door, I